Are live. I'm Savage Squishy 86 and we are back at 7:18 a.m. on February 19th with Resident Evil the remake. When we last left off, we had ended it just shy of getting ourselves the shield key, short way from that anyway. Right now we're gonna get right into it by revisiting Rebecca, who has been practicing with the piano to replay the Moonlight Sonata that Chris obviously cannot fucking play. So let's get right into this. So we obviously are going to have the emblem. We're going to take the handgun with us and the knife. There's not really much in the way of threats for us to contend with, so that's good. But we're still going to have the measures to have those kind of defensiveness that in our credit. So hold on one moment, just check something. Sorry for that. We're gonna go ahead and just head right back to the room where Rebecca did piano. I hope everybody had a good sleep. We are halfway, just shy away from our the weekend. Actually, Wednesday would have been the halfway point for our weekend, but you can actually hear Rebecca playing the piano even from this corridor. We're one hall over. Acoustics of hearing that is pretty cool. So upon entering the room, she'll abruptly stop playing. She'll be on the peck.
Chris, I think I got it.
Practice makes perfect.
What's this?
Now, obviously, pretty much it's going to be like a straightforward thing that we're going to have to go in and grab the shield, and we're going to have the same damn thing go on again. Grab the emblem, and immediately the door will seal behind us. Get out, we have to replace it with either the same emblem or a different emblem. In this case, we are going to grab the regular, normal emblem. On the ground behind you on the right, there'll be a glittering piece of information, which will be a new file that we did not have from the previous one. So go ahead and grab that. Previous game. Trevor's diary. November the 4th of 1967. 11 days have set since arriving on this. 11 days have passed since arriving on this estate. How did I end up like this? A guy in a lab coat brought me a meager plate of food and said, "Sorry to put you through this, but it's for security reasons." That's when it hit me. It all makes sense now. There are only two people that know the secret of this mansion, Sir Spencer and myself. If they kill me, Sir Spencer will be the only person that knows the secret. But for what purpose? It doesn't matter now. It's too dangerous here. My family, I hope they are all right. I've decided to escape. Jessica, Lisa, I pray you are safe. November 26, 1967. How could I be so careless? I lost my favorite lighter, the one Jessica gave me for my birthday. Now it's going to be that much harder to escape this dark place. November the 13th. The date when my fate was sealed. My aunt was hospitalized just 3 days before that. Jessica and Lisa said they were going to visit her. I wish I could be there with them. But wait, even as I'm writing, my memory is coming back to me more vividly. Just before I passed out, I remember the men in the lab coats said something like, "Most likely your family is already. I pray for their safety." Somehow I managed to get out of that room, but getting out of this mansion won't be easy. I have to get past all the booby traps, tiger eyes, gold emblem. I have to try and remember for my own sake. So we basically have a timestamp of November 24th, then another entry of November 26th, then the final entry of November 27th. So this was in 67. The game takes place in 98. So this was 31 years ago. And it's kind of relevant to remember the name. George Trevor is essentially the architect who designed this mansion, and essentially the one
Are you all right in there?
Yeah.
attributed to the overall scope of the plan surrounding it. Spencer, Oswald E. Spencer, is the main antagonist, the owner and founder of the Umbrella Corporation. George Trevor, you'll see that name a few times, particularly in Resident Evil 7 and much of Resident Evil 1's remake. So he's the one who designed the mansion, and also perhaps a lot of the hidden, obscure traps throughout it, as well as the puzzled elements like the emblems, tiger eyes, etc. He's a bit eccentric for a design person. So once you've entered this emblem, instead of the clock moving like it traditionally would, it has another story element of a puzzle, which has not been changed. So obviously over here on the wall, you'll have two pictures of knights striking each other. The short sword has been thrust into the breast of the one knight, while the long sword pierced the head of the other. So what we want here is essentially to take into account the arms of a clock, the long hand and the short hand. So the short sword would be the short hand, long hand would be the sword, long sword. So we want the long sword going to the helmet, the long hand going to the helmet, and the short hand going to the armor. So let's do it. Use the small hand first. Nope, that's actually wrong. Small. That's weird how they do that. You want the long. Come on, bro. Fuck, I might as well just do it the rest of the way. You want the long hand going to the helmet. Now you want the large hand going to the body armor. And that will solve the puzzle. So say no, and the puzzle will solve. Now the clock will move. And inside, we will find the shield key. Now we will head back to the main hall and then head back to the second floor, and in turn head to the right wing, the east wing. We're going to need the key, but we're going to grab a few things. Number one, we're going to grab a shotgun. We're also going to grab a couple of healing items, because essentially we could very well just kill this sucker and then book, but we're not going to do that. Instead, what we're going to do is engage. Go ahead and ignore the zombie. You want to probably try to get through there as fast as possible, but no big deal if you do or you don't. So immediately head down the stairs. Hit the storage room. And then head over to the storage box and get those necessities. We're going to grab our shotgun. We're going to grab a couple of these healing herbs. We'll have maybe... We'll take the shotgun shells. We'll take the a fully loaded handgun as well. We're going to take just those green herbs. Actually, we'll probably take this one instead. That way we won't have a fully displaced item in question than that. So, and that is all we're going to need. So pretty much a foregone conclusion that we're going to need anything else beyond that. We will inevitably get bit doing this. So it doesn't. I mean, if we get bit, oh well, it is what it is. If we don't get bit, that's great too. So we'll see. The snake is actually a lot more easier to avoid getting bit by. So if you do manage to avoid getting bit, great. If you don't, you'll go through the same sequence like we did in the director's cut. Chris will stumble and then collapse, and then I think you'll be able to take control of Rebecca by default. It doesn't really matter what you decide to do at that state of affairs. If in previous game, I know in director's cut, decision-wise, it would affect the gameplay entirely based on what you would choose to do. You know, take her with you, not take her with you, or find the armor key first versus the sword key first. So in this particular game, though, you don't have to really concern yourself with those issues, I don't think, because I have never had them occur in any other way. So, but once we get up here, use the shield key, discard it, and that will be that. With a foggy and dirty setting up here on the shelf. Can't see them, but you'll grab the shotgun shells very vaguely. Then head on through past this barrel here on your right, and then it'll trigger the cutscene with Snake will appear. The yawn. And then immediately he will slither down. Now you want to basically just run and try to get as much of it, get the mask if you can, and then get out. This saves you from having to use it. Oh, but you will get bit, obviously, as you can see. So, it doesn't really matter. We'll just drive it. And that will drive the snake off. Now, you don't necessarily have to fight him. It doesn't really matter. I just like to fight him because it's just so satisfying. But immediately, as soon as you leave this area, you'll be immediately succumbing to the poison.
Poison.
Chris!
And then Rebecca will show up.
Serum.
Serum. I remember seeing it. I'll be right back. Just hang in there.
So at this point, we'll take control of Rebecca, and we'll have to do the same thing from the original OG version. We'll have to run all the way back to the medicine room to get the serum. Obviously, we know the location, so let's hurry back there and do the business of doing that. Kind of a bit weird that was. Zigzagging left and right. I don't know what I was doing there. Good morning, Street. Good morning, viewers. I hope you're having a good morning. Got your coffee, got your juice, got your breakfast. Ready to take on the world. Kill a few zombies. So as soon as we enter here, we're going to immediately head here. Go ahead and get him out of our way. Shit. So that'll pretty much that. You don't need to really worry about healing her. She's a tough girl. It's ironic though, because you know, in the remake version, as opposed to the Zero version, a single bite from a zombie would put her in like I would say caution 2. You know, basically it's caution, but with an orange health line with their EKG. So it's like just shy before death. In Zero, they really made Rebecca extremely, extremely fragile to damage. Billy was more of the workhorse, so he could essentially take far more degrees of damage than Rebecca could. Hence why, in some instances with my playthrough, if you've watched it with Resident Evil Zero on here, some instances I made him do most of the work. Rebecca could hold her own in many instances, but predominantly I would always send Billy to take on a proportionate force effort with many of the bosses and any zombies that essentially would have to be addressed would be that instance. So, oh, hello. Sorry, buddy. Can't stay and play with you. We got through you, at least in that capacity. That's fine. We got ammo to burn. We got health. So, but yeah, I mean, Rebecca in Zero was kind of liked. I don't know. What did you guys think about the interchanging of, switching between characters? I kind of liked it because it definitely made an effort to where it was a system where you could swap between characters on the fly in instances of urgency. Number one, and number two, it also played well into my strategy of solving puzzles and moving room to room. I practically switched back and forth between Billy and Rebecca, probably on average every 2 minutes, because I would split them up when I could to basically sweep various forms of the mansion or the research center, if you will.
How you feeling?
What happened?
What do you mean, what happened? You got bit,
by
bitch?
a poisonous snake and fell unconscious. Easy.
Oh, my head's killing me.
You should be fine, because I gave you a shot of serum. But again, don't do anything...
That you wouldn't do? I'll try to remember that. I owe you one.
It's kind of ironic that this has some symbolism of Chris kind of returning the favor, because if you've ever seen Resident Evil Vendetta, it was actually Rebecca who was on the receiving end of infection,
God, I made it in time.
and Chris saved her bacon. So after we've taken care of that piece of work, we're going to go ahead and check the mask. Reload your shotgun as well. We're going to need that. Kind of getting low on shells here, but we're going to get an even better shotgun later on. I'm not going to put any spoilers out for you, but we'll actually get a better shotgun in this game that we didn't get the privilege of having in Resident Evil. The other. Oh no. Okay. Just in time. He was getting real close. I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to go. No, I'll go. I'll take it. So we're going to head downstairs now, grab the other 2 death masks, grab another healing item, and we're going to get right into the action. Leave your shotgun shells behind because you're not going to need those. Grab the death masks, though. One healing item. I don't like those odds. Fuck it. I'll take my chances. The reason why we want to have a little bit more healing is we're going to have another kind of crimson head we're going to have to fight. And I suspect that this... Oh, we can't go through this way. Shit. Alright, we're going to have to go back to the main hall and cut through the courtyard. Essentially, what we want to do is go to the main hall anyway, because we have a court. We have to get to the outside where we have the mask puzzle to solve. I suspect this enemy we're going to face is actually George Trevor. There's a lot of speculation that it could be George Trevor, and I think it is George Trevor. But it's hard to say, the architect of the mansion. There's been a lot of speculation about it throughout Resident Evil forums for a long time that it's George Trevor. So, we're going to head outside and use these masks to open this path. Now you'll notice the zombie here is now gone, though, wandered into the woods or something. But that's why I don't necessarily want to really waste my ammo, because in certain instances, these enemies will not be here when you come back. They pretty much pick and choose when they make their appearances known. So in this instance, these are enemies that you very much don't need to dispatch, because they'll be gone when you come back. Blood getting on the screen. I like that. Now we'll use the no eyes, no see, hear, and speak no see, speak, and smell no evil. And then we'll have the smell no evil mask. And the coffin will drop. Now, as soon as you approach the coffin, the room will seal, and then the crimson head zombie that's inside will rise from the grave and attempt to attack us. Over there, you'll find some shotgun shells, but we're not going to worry about those. This is essentially where it gets a little kind of scary, because this enemy is kind of tough. Get off of me, you fucking fruitcake. But yeah, I don't want to use this, so we're going to unequip it. Now that'll drop him for a minute. The hell are you doing turning around so much? Grab the shells. And that will drop him. That takes care of the crimson head. Now inside there'll be a switch and an emblem. We want to grab both. So press the switch, that'll open the gate, and then grab the small stone and metal object. There's nothing else in here. Occasionally you'll get, in lesser and easier difficulties, you'll get more ammo in there. So this is essentially the key to opening the back door. The Wind, Moonstar, and Suncrest will not be what we use to get out of the mansion. This time around it will be this little emblem key stone piece. So that's essentially what we need to get to the dormitory that's going to be just beyond the scope of our reach. So now that we have those items, we're going to make our way back to the back door area. And obviously we don't want to take the long way around with the first floor east wing. We want to basically make our path very straightforward and easy. So we're going to cut through the painting room puzzle with the crows. And then we're going to make our way out the back door. Now, I do not know if there's a dog here. I think there may be, but we will see. God, I love the lighting in this game. The lighting just gives it that aura of like something out of a spooky house. And it's just so perfect. And and I thought for the longest time, and I'm glad they did it for Resident Evil 2 Remake, is the old-fashioned flashlights. They didn't have the belt lights or shit like that. I like the old-fashioned stuff. It really kind of makes it creates its own atmosphere of scariness. So there you go, you have the dog. So let's get a shotgun ready. Go ahead and push him off. Get off of me, dog. Bad dog. Now we're not gonna reload our weapon. I definitely don't want to do that. But here is the stone thing where we're gonna need to use. So we're gonna use that little stone little item here. And that will unlock the door leading out. Stop pressing the right analog stick, you donut. Why do you keep doing that? I wish you could disable that. It's just like with Bloodborne's taunt system. You don't even do it intentionally, but mnemonically it just does it on its own. Over here, grab the shotgun shells on the ground. I do not want to reload my shotgun, but I may have to this one last instance because we essentially do need to do that. Over here, you'll find another stun grenade on the shelf, grab that, and the first aid spray. So we're going to head on through. Go ahead and reload our shotgun, and we'll walk slow. We'll just walk. So here you have a signpost, then go ahead and take a look at it, and it seems to be some kind of signpost. Each direction is accompanied by a corresponding destination. North, Valley of Destruction. South, Cave of Hatred. East, Summit of Madness. West, Path of Revenge. These are relevant pieces, so you'll have these two crow lanterns here. These little windmill things. You get a radio call.
Respond. Wesker? Monster chains. Treat. Not says. Away from the woods outside the mansion.
Warning us about a monster in chains. So, there is the windmill here with a blue crow little windmill spin dial thing. Head down the steps, you'll find a blue one as well. Now, these are relevant. I'm just going to show you basically what they basically will entail. So, going down here, we will have a gate. Obviously, the gate will be locked. The gate will open when the guard dog's desires are fulfilled. So, check the guard dog's statues. A statue with blue eyes. The inscription reads, "The last gasps of destruction." And then this one will say, a statue with red eyes. The inscription reads, "The war cry of revenge." So essentially, the red and blue eyes signify the crow's wind spinning dial. Now what we need to do is stop the wind dials and spin them in the right direction per the direction of those items. Now if you recall the inscription, which we'll run back, it says, North, Valley of Destruction. South, Cave of Hatred. East, Summit of Madness. And West, Path of Revenge. Now, they obviously want to be associated. They're both going to be associated with both destruction and revenge. So we want to stop the blue one, North. And we want to stop the red one, West. Once we do that, the dog statues will turn in their corresponding directions, and then we will be able to move forward. So, first we'll do this one first. So we're going to wait for it to get to the west part. So to be slow, and stop it there. That will turn the statue to the west, and that will take care of that. We do not want to spin it again, so press no. Leave it like that. Now do the same thing with the blue windmill dial thingy. We're going to do the same thing, except this one's going to be for the north. So wait for it to get slows down a little bit. Nope, wrong one. East. That's going to be wrong. We don't want that. We want to go north. Nope, that's going to be west. So we got to wait for it to turn again. So hang on. Got to wait for it to slow down. There. Got it. And the gate will open. Now we will make our way down, and we can head on through into the deeper part of the woods. This will take us to a sort of cemetery here on the estate. Another key, nice touch-up. They've added a lot of new areas, and that's what makes it so exciting to play. Now, the crows here will not attack you if you walk. Do not run. Walk. And try not to walk too close to one of them. You got multiple scattered throughout the area. So over here, you'll find a few things. You'll find a statue, gravestone over here. There's something written in the indentation. When the wind sweeps across the earth, stars will shine in the heavens. And then over here, you'll have another gravestone in the form of these other engravings with indentation. 2 vertical lines across 3 horizontal lines. This is essentially a type of puzzle. This is actually the crest puzzle that we would have used for the back door. So we're going to essentially come back with the wind crest for this puzzle, because we're going to get a very special item that we need here. So let's walk back, and we're going to be heading to a storage unit here, so don't worry, we're going to get a chance to get it. Head through the gate, and continue into the woods. Not the best advice in the world for an area filled with zombies, but yeah, continue into the woods. There's the creepy sounding woman with the chains, so Wesker's warning was to stay away from the woods. Well, unfortunately, we gotta go into the woods. So we're gonna keep going. I love this aura. Now you got two paths you can take here. One to the right, which will take you directly to the cabin, or one to the left. Now the one to the left, essentially there is herbs, I think, that we can grab. So I'm going to see if we're lucky and we do have that here. Why do you keep pressing the fucking analog stick? They really got to disable that. I wish I could turn that off. It's starting to irritate me. I'm literally, my thumb is literally unconsciously touching the analog stick, and it's literally fucking me up. So heading around the cabin here, I think is where we'll find the herbs. This will be a green herb and a blue herb. Or maybe not, I don't know. Doesn't look like it. So, maybe I'm thinking a bit too far ahead with green. Maybe I'm thinking a bit too far ahead with the difficulty. Maybe that's only on easy difficulty. I'm not sure. But in any case, enter this dilapidated shed here, and you'll hear a fire is burning. And it's very peculiar because I'm thinking to myself, who's making fires way out here? When I first played this, I was like, who is setting fires out here? It is fresh, so somebody's been here. Over here, there'll be a number of bandages have been hung up. Could these brown stains be blood? So somebody's been living here and such. So over here on the wall, you'll grab the map of the courtyard. This will essentially give you the entire layout of this entire courtyard. Here we have the mansion. If you rotate the dial, it essentially gives you this measure. So here we have the courtyard, and it gives us a layout of that area. As you can see, there's still some items here to grab, as well as back in that one area, which is where we're going to use those crest puzzles. So we got the map of the courtyard. Over here, I don't know if there's there's a family picture. Here we go. And it looks like a little kid with pigtails. There's a journal left by someone. 19. Daddy attached first. Mommy attached second. Inside red and slimy. White and hard. Blood and bone. Not true. Mom where? Dunno, Dad. Found Mom again. When attached Mommy, she moved no more. She's screaming. Why? Just want to be with her. 4. Mom where? I miss you. Now I admit, when I first played this game and I read this, it made me cry. I'm 40 years old, and I'll be the first to admit it. When I first played this, it made me cry because I can't think of a kid going through this shit at a young age and then just slowly writing this out. It just really fucks you up a little bit because no kid should go through something like this. But still, I mean, it is a game, and I don't know. Maybe I think that's why I have such an incredible enthusiasm for movies, because there's something incredibly emotionally impactful with good storytelling for me. And I love good books. I got so many books. Actually, one of the new books I'll show you is actually quite good for anybody who's really keen on self-discovery and dealing with emotional trauma. It's big on me. It's shadow work, and this book is a shadow growth journal, and it really kind of forces you to sort of just explore the traumas and troubles of your youth that you otherwise would have avoided for a proportionate amount of your young adult life. Very healthy. I encourage it. Mental health is a big important thing for me, and I think it's true across the board, it's top to bottom, that everybody in some form or another has some form of trauma or unresolved emotional barriers that they never really dealt with. So, I mean, I recommend it highly. It's very informative. I try to do like one entry every week, but it's very healthy. So, but going back down here, dropping down from that shelving, we're going to grab the crank, which we will need to go into there. Welcome, Hunter. A pleasure, brother. Good morning. How are you doing this morning? And examining it, we'll find that it's a square crank, which is what we need. Oh, it was solid, brother. We have actually completed that, and we've moved on to the Resident Evil series. But I got all that material pretty much put up inside the playlist of our Bloodborne live stream. So covered everything, got every weapon, got every rune, got every ending. So it is about as solid as you get. Everything is completed. Every quest line is completed. So it was a smash hit success. I can't be more grateful that it turned out as good as it did. And I'm hoping that people who are new to the series will actually take up on it by using my playlist and live playthrough and follow along for that in the future. But if you're looking for any input, yeah, it's in my. I made a public playlist of the complete playthrough, including the Thumerian Queen. Every single one of them, bang, bang, bang. Everyone done, finished, and kaput. I got all the way to New Game Plus 3, and I pulled the plug after that. So there's really nothing more else to play with that being completed. So I pretty much just pulled rank on that and just was done with it. Oh, it was great. It was worth it. It was a long playthrough. It took a long time, but it was worth it all in the end. Very happy with the outcome. So it was definitely a challenge, but it was a worthwhile challenge in the end. All things considered, I was very happy with it. So we're going to need the wind crest, though, because this is going to be important for our next piece of work. So we're going to go ahead and reload our handgun as well, because we need a fully reloaded handgun. But I was since moved on to Resident Evil, the director's cut, the OG version from 1998, 1996, and then we completed that. Oh, dude, it was worth it. It took me back in time. It was fantastic. It was so great. Now I decided, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to, because we got the upcoming release of Resident Evil Requiem, I wanted to do that. I wanted to play every Resident Evil I can possibly get my hands on. So we're going to do them all. We're going to do the OG versions of 1, 2, and 3. We're going to do the remake of 1. We're going to do the remake of 2 because I've done the remake of 2, but I have not done the remake 2 with Leon first, then Claire. So I'll do that. I've done Claire first and then Leon, but I've never done the reverse of that. So we'll do that. I'm not going to do Jill, though. I'm not going to do the remake of 3. I've already done the remake of 3. It's up there in the Resident Evil playlist. But we're going to do the OG4, remake of 4, OG4, and the remake of 4. We're going to do 5. We're going to do 6. We're going to do 7 Biohazard. And we're going to do Village as well. And then maybe, I don't know, I'll probably throw in Code Veronica, the OG Code Veronica. I'll probably do Revelations 1 and Revelations 2. We'll have to see. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be exciting. So we'll see what we get. So, but that's where we're at. That's what we're going to do. So once we get through here, the door will open. And someone will come in. So head over here and you'll see a malformed little critter walking around. It's a new Village Village is actually, there is no OG version. Village is basically a follow-up to Resident Evil 7. So I guess it's in its title. I guess you would equivocally call it Resident Evil 8. So hence why I decided to include it. I'm not particularly a fan of Village or 7 because I'm not big on Ethan Winters as a character. But for the sake of canon, timeline, and homage to the franchise, I'm going to tolerably play them. And I think it's kind of amusing if I don't. So it's kind of amusing if I didn't play it. So, but once you go to leave, you'll get knocked unconscious by this bitch. Poor Lisa. At which point you'll be found unconscious here on the floor. I don't know if she dragged you down or what she did, but she will immediately approach and try to attack you. Now, Lisa is a dangerous threat in the manner that she is not killable. You cannot kill her. You can only put her down. And that is it. That is all you can do. So essentially, she will get that one hit on us, and then we're going to make our way out and run from her. Just leave her behind. They still haven't called me back, brother. I'm getting really restless, but I've already applied to 3 jobs. So at this point, I ain't got time to waste. I got bills to pay, and I got money I need. So I'm hoping that somebody will call me back. In fact, later today, I've got a phone call coming through, and I'm going to apply to another grocery store chain as well. So I got a few stores lined up, a few jobs lined up that I'm going to be looking at. Whoever calls me first gets my services. Because I've been patient, I've been reasonable, and I don't feel nobody pulling on the rope. You know, I would be anxious, I would be eager, but I don't feel nobody fucking pulling on the rope. You know what I mean? I mean, it's ridiculous. So I'm hoping it gets worked out, but at this point, I'm done waiting. I got to do what I got to do. Oh, I love it. It's so incredible. The lighting, the environment, the atmosphere. At Remake, I will always appreciate. I mean, I love the OG versions, but this has got George Romero written all over it. You can't help but love it. You can't help but love it. The lighting, the smoky fog area, the moonlight glow coming in. I mean, it has all the makings of a George A. Romero film. So as soon as we get back here, we're going to go back over here to this puzzle and we're going to solve it. So what we're going to do first is we're going to get the wind crest and use it on this little pedestal here. So putting that in will give us the other three. Star, moon, and sun crest. We're only going to have inventory room for 2, so take 2 of them. And then head over here to this other pedestal. And what you want to do is look at them. And it doesn't look like anything, but then you got these little pressure things on the back, so what do? They come out. Now, if you remember, there was lines on this thing, so essentially we're going to want to push those press switches, and then get them used inside this thing. Oh, I'm sorry, brother. I don't know why that happened. Let me pull it up here. Hang on. YouTube has been having issues. They had some issues yesterday they had to solve, so maybe they still got some bugs they're working out. Yeah, it didn't. It appeared here, brother. It did appear here on my end, so I don't know. Maybe it's a bug issue. But do the same thing with the other emblems here. And then we'll get this whole thing solved right on the spot. And then when you use all the L's, what do we get? We get the Magnum. Now this bitch, oh, this gun is sexy. The Silver Serpent, they call it. It's not called the Colt Python in this game, but it might as well be. It might as well be a Colt Python. I mean, Silver Serpent suits it, but. Well, which game is that? Resident Evil? Or Resident Evil Village? Elaborate for me, my friend, and I'll tell you. So now that we got the Silver Serpent, we're going to make our way back. Okay, well, basically, the long story short, I'll give you the short and I'll give you the short and curlies of it. Basically, they were screwing around with a virus. This company was, and they were experimenting on people and all kinds of other stuff. And unfortunately, it got loose, turned everybody into mutant monsters, humans into zombies, dogs into mutants, monsters, giant plants, and basically they tried to control it, but they couldn't control it. And now the cops, STARS specifically, have basically been trapped inside the mansion to solve the problem while trying to stay alive and not be eaten.
This is Brad. Come in, STARS Alpha Team. Come in. Does anybody hear me? This is Chris. This is Brad. STARS Alpha Team. Bravo Team. It doesn't matter. Respond. I repeat, this is Brad, this is Chris. Brad? Damn. Thing's broken.
So pretty much with that radio call ending, we were pretty much in no better shape than we were before. So we're going to immediately head out here, and we're going to have a few dogs in our way, so go ahead and get that dog off, motherfucker. Get off of me. No, this is Chris. This is Chris Redfield. Leon actually is the character who makes an appearance in the next game, Resident Evil 2. He's just a rookie police officer. So Chris and Jill are the original characters of the franchise, but basically the other characters, Claire, Leon, Rebecca, they all become overarching characters that in some form or another have built their series up as fellow fighters against bioorganic weapons, BOWs, like these things are. Let's get rid of these dogs. Get off. Go ahead and use your green herb if they hurt you a little bit. And that'll take care of the dogs. No, this is Chris. Chris Redfield essentially is pretty much one of the big heads of the series. He's one of my top 3 favorites of characters. He makes an appearance in Resident Evil 1. He's also in Resident Evil Revelations, Resident Evil 5, Resident Evil 6. And what else? I think Village. Yeah, Village was in it too. 7, he was in it too. So he's one of the big time character leads of the series. The other one is Jill Valentine, Leon Kennedy, Claire Redfield, Rebecca Chambers. Some of the more unspoken names of the other franchises, like Ark Thompson from Resident Evil 0, Bruce McGiving. I can't pronounce his last name right. From Resident Evil Dead Aim. But Chris is one of the original big badasses. He's one of my favorites. So once we get here, we'll have the square crank. We'll use it. We'll raise the levee and drain the water from this pond here. This will enable us to get through and head directly for the greenhouse dormitory area. Exactly. Yep. Chris, Jill, Claire, and Leon. That's essentially in that order that they pretty much capitalized on. It's really too bad Rebecca doesn't get enough credit, but the other character that is pretty popular is Barry Burton, but he's only seen action in maybe 2 games, or 3 if you count him as a co-op player in Resident Evil 5 for Mercenaries mode. So as soon as you get up here, we're going to have a series of snakes dropping down above us. Or not. I guess not in this instance. Not yet, anyway. Once we head through here, we're going to board the elevator and head down. Chaos, don't you start. He don't got that D'Artagnan face. I don't remember an instance that guy may have a 5 o'clock shadow, but he is not no D'Artagnan. Shit. How are you doing this morning, love? Good morning. I bet you will. So there we have ourselves going into this area now, and we have a red herb. Go ahead and grab that off the ground. How'd you sleep, dear? Sleep good? This is actually cold. This is actually old coffee. I haven't gone and made any yet. I need to go make some. I'm lazy. I woke up this morning at 2 a.m. and then I got up for a brief stint and then I went back to bed. Oh, that weird thing where you literally turn over on your side and count sheep or whatever. Oh, there's the snakes. Definitely on a run from them. Do not let them bite you. They can poison you. What can I say? I'm a lazy prick. I didn't want to get up. I think I would put Leon at number 1 for me. Leon is always going to be my number 1 favorite character. Actually, it's quite the discussion that some of me and my friends have had, and it's a quite popular one still among the Resident Evil community. Is who would win in a fight, and that was would it be Leon or would it be Chris? And Chris, I don't know. He's a brawler type. In Resident Evil movies, I've seen him literally body slamming zombies. DDTing zombies. He strikes me as a guy who would literally manhandle an enemy with his brute strength. Leon, he's like ambidextrous. He switches hands. He shoots with his left hand, his right hand. He's got very kind of John Wick style. He's very lean and nimble, very agile. So And me, I don't know. I personally would, I would like to go into any kind of situation playing as Leon, because Leon has just got that natural swag to, that, yeah, I'll throw down. You guys want to throw down? I'll throw down. And like literally just go to town and just jack everybody up. Over here on the shelf, you'll find a stun grenade, as well as ink ribbons. Grab them. And then we're going to go ahead and put away our silver serpent and our crank. We're not going to combine those ink ribbons yet. We're just going to keep them separate. But we are going to head back out here and grab those 2 blue herbs, just for the sake of necessity. But yeah, to answer your question, Hunter, that's the basic gist of it. And the game tells its own chapter arc with each game. So Resident Evil 1 leads to 2, 3 tells the events leading up to 2 and long after 2. So I guess you would kind of conclude Resident Evil 3 as like a prelude and a conclusion for Resident Evil 2. Because it's very weird, because in the timeline of Resident Evil 2 and 3 and 2 as games collectively happen technically at the same time. 3 begins the events of 2, but it ends a lot sooner with 2, because Leon and Claire are at the police station, while Jill is actually still in the city somewhere else dealing with her own issues. So, and by the time Jill gets out of the city by 3, they destroyed the city. Leon and Claire have already escaped the city before the events of the city being destroyed on October 1st. Or October 2nd, I believe, is when they destroyed it. October 2nd is when they destroyed Raccoon City. 4 takes place several years, 6 years after the destruction of Raccoon City. Resident Evil 5 takes place a couple years after Resident Evil 4. But they really get started with their BSAA name brand, countering bioterrorism with the events of Resident Evil Revelations, with the introductory of the FBC and the BSAA, and then the inclusionary of the story arc of the T-Abyss virus. And then we also have to account somewhere in the timeline for when the events of Code Veronica happens, which is when they introduce the T-Alexia, the T-Veronica virus. So it's a very kind of intricate web of storyline and arc that kind of oversees throughout the timeline. Then you have Resident Evil 5 taking place, and basically Resident Evil 5 leads into the consumption of Resident Evil Revelations 2, where we find out there's more than one Wesker. Albert Wesker, which is obviously who this is, and then you have Alex Wesker. And then Resident Evil 6, then followed by 7, Village, and then the upcoming release of Resident Evil 9, where we're going back to Raccoon City, which will be nice. So what are we going to need now? Essentially what we're going to need is we're going to need to grab the... we're going to grab ourselves... probably a knife and maybe 1 healing item. Because we're going to be dealing with some poison and poison threats. Obviously we'll have spiders in the area. But our first priority will be to check the door across from us in this room, which will be locked. The door reads 001. So this door is now locked, whereas it wasn't before. So we're going to take that measure and head into here. This is where we will encounter some spiders. Another underrated enemy that I don't think gets nearly enough credit, in my opinion, for the Resident Evil franchise. Be very careful, because if you blow out its poison sac, it will essentially be spewing poison all over the fucking place. And that will be a problem. Now, over here you have these oil lanterns that you can essentially light. These basically are unique to opening up the lab area for the chemistry for Rebecca. I'm going to light them, but you won't never really use them as Chris, because for whatever reason you can't really use Plant 42's V-Jolt formula to kill the plant. I don't really know how you can get to do it. I need to do some research on it, because much like how we discovered in the Resident Evil Outbreak game, we didn't really get the measure of an idea of, okay, how do we get her to use the formula if we can't really trigger it? So we're going to light them anyway. We're not going to get the chance to see them in action, but we'll see what happens. So here we have a predator kind of looking human eye. That will essentially be pivotal to that point. This spider will continue spewing its poisonous element, twitching like a fucking dead fish. Head up here. Go ahead and mix the herbs. And then we have down there, obviously we can see there's a shotgun down there, but we have a spider up here that will be a problem. So we need to do this very, precariously. So we're going to head up the stairs. We're not going to go down into the bar area. There's another loft area up here with the pool table that we otherwise wouldn't be able to get to. Over here is an orange lantern. Go ahead and light that. And that will interlude to a human eye. So we have a human eye, a predator eye, and then I would like to call it a psychic eye, because it has no pupil. It has no dilated pupil. So this will be an orange lantern. On the table here, you'll have the pool table, which essentially will have these codes here. So you have these these are just code numerals for different color schemes. So, and essentially you'll have 3 red, 5 orange, 6 green. And they just go hand in hand with the puzzle key aligning with the code to gain access to the room. That's really the only purpose they serve. So, but that is essentially what that is. Let me get this damn fur out from underneath me, because it's like driving me crazy. Ugh, there, that's better. So, doesn't seem to have anything significant about them in order, but it's basically the passcode. So just remember the numbers in that order. 3, 5, and 6. Red 3, 5, orange, 6, green. So now we'll head down the stairs, but actually before we do that, let's get that spider's attention. So you'll see him crawling on the wall. Just shoot his ass down. Now we don't have any shotgun shells. We need to get some. So hopefully we can grab him without this asshole poisoning us. If he does poison us, don't worry about it. So we are poisoned, so that's not a big deal. Over here on the shelf, there will be a first aid box. That is essentially okay, because that's what we want. So let's open it up, and inside there'll be a green and blue herb mix. We'll eat that. And that will take care of our poison problem. Also, we have the red book here, which we will take. And then we have the green lantern here, so we'll take that as well. But we're going to light this lantern first. This will give us the green eye indicator there. So, what kind of shenanigans are you causing this morning there, Mel Love? Here we have a bandage with a red cover, a bandage with blood. Open the book, and inside we will find nothing inside. So obviously this is kind of a blank. This is just a regular red book that's blank, but it is a key item nonetheless. We can't grab the shotgun shells because we have our inventory full, so we'll have to make a trip backwards. We'll come back for the shells momentarily. Before we do that, let's push this crate. Now, in place of the statue that we had from the OG version, we have this crate. Now, we're going to have a few traps, holes in the floor we will need to navigate. Obviously, these are going to be Plant 42's attack points, so we're going to need to be careful with these. They got one here, and then you got one in the middle over there. Essentially, we do not want to go and get grabbed, so we're going to step up on there and through and around. Hey, I feel you, Russell. I feel you. I know exactly how it is. I am not a morning person. I do my best work at night, hence why I always ask for the night shift when it comes to doing any real work. I could never see myself doing anything at night unless I absolutely have to. I am a lazy prick. I am the first to admit it. Some people just are not night. They are not morning people. We're not. It's just the way it is. So let's go back and get those shells, and then we'll get further into the dormitory slash greenhouse. What is this place called? Okay, the residence. Well, that's essentially, there's so many names for it. I am a lazy prick. I'm the first to admit it. I'm not gonna lie. I do not like getting up in the morning. I mean, and I'm also one of those types of people. Do not fucking talk to me. Do not talk to me until I've had at least a couple sips of coffee. I have a story. It's funny as hell. Christmas morning, I was going to my sister's house, and it's, everybody's up, kids are up, going banana sandwich. And my sister and my mom and my dad, they love doing it. My dad, God bless him, when he was there, he was going over there, he would be up all hours of the night, eager. Like, come on, get your ass up. We got to get ready. Everybody's kind of whatever. He loves Christmas morning. So anyway, this one instance, my father and my sister took the liberty of putting a bunch of my gifts in a little scavenger hunt shit. So of course they put a note with this thing over here in the oven, or a note here inside the fridge on the milk carton. And they would do this shit. Yes, well, they would do this shit, okay? And literally, they was like, okay, now you gotta go over here. I was like, okay. And it was there was 6 or 7 of them. And by step 2 or step 3, I was like, okay, no, stop, time out. I'm not dealing with this shit. I want some coffee first. I want to drink half a cup of coffee, and then I will play your little fucking game. Okay, until then, get away from me, because if you don't, I'm gonna rip your face off. I'm not even kidding. And I did. I got my coffee. They were kind of gruff. They were kind of bummed about it, but they knew. They know how I get, and they know I'm not a morning person. So of course I'm finally I'm having my coffee. I'm just like, all right, let's play this. Let's get this over with. So I went and did it, and I found a PlayStation Gear subscription card. I found a $50 PlayStation Store card. I found the new PlayStation 5 controller, and then I got a PlayStation 5 as well. So it was like, yeah, okay, awesome, exciting. I'm very glad, thank you. And then I went back to my chair, and I went back to the chair, handing out gifts from the chair, and literally just waking up. I mean, but yeah, no, I'm not a morning person. Who the hell wants to go through all that nonsense that early in the morning? No, you're not gonna do that to me. Otherwise, there's gonna be casualties. I'm not having that shit. So once we've gotten the shotgun shells and we got the red book, we're essentially gonna make our way out. We might want to grab our magazines, because we're gonna want some protections. We're going to have some zombies in these rooms. Obviously, we can't enter the residence room across from us. 001 is locked, so we don't have the measure of that. So we're going to get ahead ourselves a little bit. Grab the magazine, grab the survival knife, leave the healing item, because we're not going to need it for a little bit. And, yeah, let's keep it moving. Let's head deeper into the residence. Well, I mean, even during the days when I was going to college for a brief semester, I was not a morning person, but I did what I had to do, because it was my first semester at college. It was my first measure of attempt. I eventually will go back, but right now my priorities are to get a job. But, you do what you have to do in the interest of, demand, wants versus needs. You do what you have to do. So once you get further down here, check the table to your right, and you'll find some newspapers scattered about. But one of them will have a note, a newspaper clipping somewhere. I'm trying to find it. Hang on. Not sure where the hell it is. It's supposed to be here somewhere. There's supposed to be a newspaper clipping here somewhere, and I'm not sure if it's still here or not. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking in the wrong place. I'll come back and find it again later, maybe. But here we have a dormitory area here that'll take us into the main area there. And then we have this other area here, which basically will have a map at the end of it. And then there's 002 there as well. So grab the map of the residence, take that, and then you'll have a complete map of the residence. Now it says you got a map of the residence. There's a hole in the wall here. Now what I would recommend you do not do is look in this wall, because essentially this will pepper this area with wasps. from the nest on the other side. We essentially do not want to have that happen. Do not disturb the wasp nests, and they will not fuck with you. So head into 002, which now that door is now unlocked. We do not have a key for it. They essentially swapped out the key layout. But in here, we will find on the shelf here, next to the bed, the Plant 42 report. Essentially, this is exactly the same report that we read in the previous game. So, but for the sake of continuity and the game we'll go ahead and read it. 4 days have passed since the accident. The plant at point 42 is growing at an amazing rate. Although there are many unknown aspects about this plant, we do know it's, in comparison with other group of plants, the T virus has had a substantially stronger effect on this one. The T virus has drastically morphed its host's anatomy as well as its size. Looking at its current state, it's difficult to imagine its original appearance. Nowhere on Earth will you find anything like it. We've also found that Plant 42 has two main sources of acquiring its necessary in nutrients. One source is through its roots. Somehow it has rooted itself down into the basement. Immediately after the accident, a scientist went mad and destroyed the aqua ring. Ever since, the basement has been like a pool. There is a high possibility that it's one of the chemicals in the water that promoting the Plant 42's rapid growth. However, we have yet to determine the specific chemical. A bulb-like body of Plant 42 has been sighted hanging from the ceiling of the first floor. We are sure that it uses the air ducts to reach the first floor. Numerous long tentacle-like vines are protruding from the bulb. We believe the vines are the second means of acquiring its nutrients. When the Plant 42 senses prey, it uses tentacle-like vines to capture its prey. After doing so, suckers on the vine drain the prey of its blood. We've also noticed that it has some intelligence when it captures its prey or when it's inactive. The vines twine around the door to stop possible intruders. Unfortunately, several of our scientists have already fallen victim to this Plant 42. When we heard the stories from the survivors, they all observed one thing in common. When the uniform petal-like flaps open up and reveal its vital internals, it has a tendency to become more aggressive. That must mean its weak point. One witness reports that it was as if it was trying to protect itself. Why it behaves this way, the way it does, is still unknown. May 21st, 98, Henry Sart. So we obviously know that this is going to be a potential threat we're going to have to contend with, so we'll deal with that soon enough. In here, you will find a few other things. Obviously, you'll see these bookshelves can be moved. We have a zombie to deal with, though. So let's dispatch him. Bang! Easy dead. Luckily for us, we got a headshot, so we don't have to waste no precious kerosene on burning the body. I stress that again. If you kill any zombies, you want to burn the bodies, because they will reanimate as crimson heads, and they will be a lot harder to kill and much more dangerous to you. So if you kill a zombie, and you don't blow its head off, or its leg, that's actually another option. It's actually one of the third option is if you shoot the shotgun and you blow off its leg, it will crawl around the floor and you can just knife it to death. The added effect is, though, without its leg, it cannot mutate. So essentially, you can pretty much count a destruction of the leg as a potential instance where you could actually get an easy kill in that capacity. Now in here, we will find the residence key. Water drips in the sink. I don't think you'll find anything else here, just the key. So checking the key, you'll find it goes to 001, the door that was previously across from our save room that we couldn't access. So we're going to go ahead and take this key and head back. Now we will take ourselves down the hall once again. I'm going to keep looking for this damn file because there's another file here, newspaper clipping that we can find. It would be pretty obviously standing out, but for whatever reason, it's not jumping out at me. Maybe it's not in that place at all. Maybe it's over here somewhere. No, doesn't look like it. There's a file here somewhere. I know there is. I just got to find the bitch. So upon returning to this hallway, remember, climb up the crates. Do not go through the middle of that path because the vines from Plant 42 will snatch out and grab you and try to choke you. That'll do damage. It won't kill you, but it will damage you. So once we get here, open the door, and then head on through. Easy. Now, upon entering this room, we'll find that there is actually a zombie hanging. On the desk table over here, we'll find a magazine as well. Grab that. There's also a self-defense gun, which we're going to save this for when we return to the mansion. This is a powerful shot, but we have a suicide note as well. June 22nd, 98. I had to do it. We ran from those things, helping each other to survive, but Robert started to show symptoms. I had to do it. Those damn things are pure evil. There was no other way. He would have done the same if it were the other way around. After I put him out of his misery, I had to just leave him in the bathroom. Now I'm probably the last one. How could this happen? I'll never forgive myself for being a part of this project. Eventually, I'll get what's coming to me, though. There's no way to escape from this nut house. It's just a matter of time now. Everything is set. All I need is a little courage to get it done. Knowing that I'll leave many things undone is regret beyond words. But this is better than just waiting to turn into one of them. Please understand, and at least let me end my life as a person. There's a message on the back. Linda, please forgive me. Poor bastard. Just taking a quick look around because my memory is fuzzy. I don't really remember everything that is accounted for, so I'm basically just taking an extra measure to look around. Now in here, we will have a zombie here. Plant 41 is basically in the next area we have to get to, but essentially we can't really access it yet. We have to get the keys to get access to a lot of these rooms. So yeah, the T virus basically can affect plants, animals, amphibians, reptiles, fish, birds, humans. It basically it rebuilds things on the it basically mutates it and rebuilds on a mutagenic level, so it makes it incredibly versatile where it affects everything. Turns humans and dogs into flesh-starved monsters. Turns plants into bulbously huge monumental building-sized threats. Spiders, huge. Snakes, even huger. So you got a huge itinerary of threats. Wait till we get to the Aqua Ring. You're gonna love that. Stick around, because that's where we're going next. The Aqua Ring, they were experimenting with it on sharks, and as you heard the man say in the note, they destroyed the Aqua Ring, so it's essentially flooded. Yeah, that's gonna be a real trip. So we're going to go ahead and leave our knife behind. And we're going to take the control room key. We're not going to really have much else in the way of threats, so we're going to just move it out. Matter of fact, I'm going to save the game. Yeah, Neptune is awesome. I love that. That's actually what I remember when I first saw the trailer for the game, the remake being released, and I saw the shark crash into the glass, and I thought, oh my god! This is so fucking awesome. And I'm like having like a total nerd moment in that moment when I first saw it. You have to remember, I mean, that back in 2002, 2003, I mean, that was a huge deal for fans. So we're going to save the game again. Because I am not taking a chance getting killed by that damn shark. And we'll drop our ink ribbon off. And go from there. I don't think the Neptune gets enough. I don't think the Neptune gets enough love, in my opinion. I think that is a ridiculously awesome shark. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, let's. I mean, I'm going to play devil's advocate here for a minute. Let's say if they did get BOWs effectively in control. Let's say that they did do that. Okay, can you imagine how incredibly dangerous and tough the T Abyss virus or the T virus affected Neptune would be in securing ports or cutting off naval vessels from the shore? Just think about that for a minute. I mean, Coast Guard would have their fucking hands full, let alone the U.S. Navy. I mean, if it was a shark, yeah, Coast Guard, rescue operations, no one's getting across the water unless it's air support. If it's, you know, the T Abyss virus, the Makota was basically a parasitic creature from the T Abyss virus. But look what they affected. They affected a fucking blue whale, and they made a blue whale a virus. Oh God, no. God, that would just be worse. Michael Myers, I mean, that's like a supernatural entity, and then on top of that, you got the element of the T virus included. I mean, yeah, that's a wrap. That is a wrap. I don't know. He would probably be, he honest to God, I think he would be the good clandestine example of becoming a tyrant, if anything else. Or a super zombie. I don't know. That actually does sound pretty good now. A virus-infected serial killer. That would be that would be a bit of a trip. So obviously from the OG version, we got these boxes here. Huge as they are, you're going to push them all the way down and make a bridge to get across here. But I mean, I think if you could implement some measure of safety procedures and controls, you probably could use BOWs as a means of, like, in extreme cases, I would say, extreme cases you could implement BOWs as a deterrent. You know, but I would not use them for wholesale slaughter of civilian populated areas. You know, like in Resident Evil Outbreak 2, they released the Tyrant to help the survivors, the Outbreak survivors, basically get through that shit show. And they were smart to put an explosive device in the Tyrant's head to basically neutralize it like a kill switch if it became uncontrollable, which makes sense if they did that. So once we get that opened up, we're going to head into here and we're going to be treated with a cutscene. And we will find Richard is here.
Richard! Chris!
A Super Neptune, right there. Super Neptune.
Stop! No!
Poor Richard is going to get eaten by the Neptune, saving our ass.
Richard.
So once we get through that scene, we're going to immediately book it, because we're going to have a number of sharks here. Small sharks. But we're going to have to contend with them. So just run like hell. If you stay still on the catwalk for too long, the giant shark will show up and snatch your ass right off that damn thing, easy as can be. So no area is really safe in this room. So you want to use the control V, discard it, and get the hell inside. Not stay on the catwalk. Anywhere you stay is a potential opportunity for that shark to eat you, and it will kill you with one bite. So once we get in here, we're going to head up and down. Now there is the giant shark. The Neptune is there. Before we even get into the nitty-gritty of this business, we're going to grab the Aqua Ring map off the wall, which will show us the entire layout of this room, as well as the lower level B2 and B1. Now, we're going to take a few things into account before the shit hits the fan, because once we touch a certain console, the shark will smash the glass and we'll have to relieve the pressure and drain the water in order to stop it from collapsing. If it collapses, the game will end and you will die. So caution, in case of drop in oil pressure control, open valve number 1. Over here on the floor, you'll find another first aid case. Go ahead and take it. And then check over here. This is obviously where the oil pressure regulator is going to be. So we need to adjust the oil pressure right now. This is obviously going to be the pressure shelter. We need to restore, basically in order to stop the shark from smashing it, we need to activate the pressure shelter. So first thing we're going to do is try to drain the water. And the shark will try to smash the glass.
Emergency. Unknown source of pressure detected. Locking all doors to achieve maximum safety.
So, the critical percentage will continue to raise as the damage from the shark continues to go about unquestioned. Once it reaches 100%, this place will crash and collapse and flood, and you will die. So essentially what we need to do is relieve the pressure. But in order to do that, we need to do it safely. So let's get the pressure stopped by releasing the shutters. So we need to basically use the control lever, but we can't use it right yet. Where the hell is this? Alright. Alright, trying to figure out how the hell we do this. There's a control lever for the pressure shelter, but it won't budge until the safety is released. So where the hell is the safety? Over here? Yep, here's the release. So release the safety. And then we're going to pull the lever, but it's going to stop. We need to restore the oil. Now remember that regulator was number 1. We need to regulator number 1.
50% of pressure threshold.
So let's head over here.
Activate emergency drainage system immediately.
Hit number 1, and that will release it. Now we'll go back and do the same thing again. Goddamn shark. We need to release the safety again. Now we can do it. This will stop the pressure and protect us. And we will be safe. That will mitigate the threat of the water basically breaching the control room, and now we can drain the water safely. No more water for you, asshole. Now in harder difficulties, like hard difficulty or real survivor, the difficulty of this will be harder. The pressure will increase dramatically fast, which means you will have to work even just as fast to relieve the pressure and close these shutters. So just be aware of that. You probably have maybe 30 seconds at max to seal the room and then drain the water. Now once the water is drained, the outer door here leading to the outside aqua ring will open. Water will continue to drain. Open up this case, and inside we will find a mix of 2 green herbs inside. So we're going to go ahead and mix them to make 3. Now heading into here, on the right here, in this debris, you'll find shotgun shells, which we'll take those. And I think, yeah, we want to go this way. And there'll be 2 items here we need to grab. A key and Richard's signature weapon, his assault shotgun. Now here, right away from the jump, you're going to have this asshole shark pretty much lying here. This is the one that ate Richard. And this is the one who will also be a continuing problem. So as soon as we get through here, we're going to climb up here to grab this key. But he will still be awake, still be pissed off, and he will smash the railing, basically forcing the key behind him. And he'll be in front of us, so he'll essentially have us trapped. If we try to, we can't really kill him with a gun. So what we can do is electrocute him. Pulling this lever for the generator will turn on the power, and it will activate the electrical charge here. We cannot push it while it's charged, so pushing it up will take the electric charge away. What we'll do is we'll push it into the water. And fry this asshole. Do it. And that will neutralize the shark. You know, I'm not gonna lie, he actually kind of does have a resonance of being the size of the great white from the movie Jaws, doesn't he? Now we got the residence key, and this is the word of the gallery, so this will take us to the gallery area. Now heading up here, obviously we ran past it, but right there next to the shark on the floor will be the assault shotgun. This is a much more faster shotgun, and it actually has a load of count of 10 shells automatically loaded to the additional 6 shells you get from the generic shotgun you get from the mansion. So essentially this will be our workhorse for the future. And then after leaving this area, we're going to head out this way. I think there will be something here we need to grab, but we don't have the inventory space. We'll have to come back. Yep. A speed loader for the Magnum. So we're going to have to make our trip back here to grab that weapon in particular. So by heading through here, because we drained the water, the bridge we've created will be useless to us. As you can see on the other side, that's where the wooden boxes would be. So we won't be able to use them. So using the ladder and unlocking this door will take us back the way we came without having to need the bridge to get there. So we're going to run up and get back to our storage room and drop off a few of our resources, including using the gallery key, so that we no longer have that in our inventory. So, upon entering this room, we're going to just head back the way we came. Upon entering the hallway, head over here, use the gallery key on the door, and get it out of your inventory. Now, we'll make a trip back to the lower level of the Aqua Ring, get the speed loader rounds for the Magnum, and then make our way back to the storage room. Real pain in the ass, but unfortunately that's the risk, that's the difficulty, the challenge factor with playing as Chris, as he only has 6 pockets. Climbing down the ladder. Grab the speed loader rounds. And then back up the ladder, and we're going to head right for our storage room, because we're going to need a few things to get action into the next fight. So once we have all we need, go ahead and check your map. You will obviously see that there is this one area here inside the Aqua Ring. It's a little door. That's basically where the root of the Plant 42 is. There's not really anything we can do there, so we're not going to waste our time going there. That is the only room in the entire game with Chris's playthrough you will not navigate, because essentially there's nothing there. There's no herbs, there's no ammo. You can't use Rebecca to poison Plant 42 with V-Jolt. So essentially that is... It's just basically a waste of space. If you're playing as Jill, you go there, but not as Chris. Oh, I loved it. It was great. Took care of that shark. That shark is done. He's history. I wouldn't even eat that thing for sushi. I wouldn't even eat that sucker for sushi. Who knows? I might get infected if I eat that son of a bitch. So once we get back here, we're going to head into here and we're going to grab a few things. We're going to grab the red book. We're going to grab our shotgun ammo. And let me see. Probably we'll keep our magnum. We'll keep our handgun. We'll keep our shotgun, in fact. Shotgun ammo, so to speak. Excuse me. Misspoke. Actually, I don't even think I need the shotgun ammo. I'll just use the full shotgun shells here. I got a fully loaded shotgun there, so that'll be pretty much a foregone conclusion. But we will take the green herbs with us, and we will take the red book. Well, no, maybe not the red book. Oh hell, I don't know. Let's see what we get. Let's leave the herbs here. I don't think we'll really need them. We're pretty good about keeping ourselves alive, so let's see what we get. I can't remember exactly, exactly what's in this room. I know we're going to need to grab a key. That's evident. And I think there's actually something else in here we need to grab. So we'll take our chances and take a look. So once we get back into this area here, we're going to head directly for the gallery. That is essentially where we unlock the key to that room. So we'll head into here. Now here, we will find a number of things here. We will have a magazine, which we need. Immediately run past the bees, and then down here at the other end, you will find a corpse with a contorted expression of pain on his face. He's holding something. Grab it, and it is basically insecticide spray. So what we will do is grab that. We need to get the key. The key is by the beehive, but unfortunately we can't get close enough without getting stunned, so we need to kill the bug. So how are we going to do that without getting close to it? Well, you remember that hole I showed you earlier when we got the map for the residents? That's our safety zone for killing these sons of bitches. So head back here where this little hole is, and then use the insecticide spray to spray the shit out of it. And that will take care of the bugs. Now we can actually take care of going in there and not get stunned. All the bees in the hive will be dead, so essentially that renders that area completely safe for walking through as opposed to traditionally running. Before we go into there, though, let's go and open up this door here. So we obviously know the passcode here, so we remember that the predator eye was 3. We remember the predator eye was 3, the human eye was 5, and the psychic eye was green. And there we go. And that will open up this room, but we won't really need to access it because Rebecca will pretty much be the only one who can use chemicals. We can't use any chemicals. You don't know much about medicines. There's no point in taking the empty bottle. So essentially, Chris can't mix the chemicals to make B-Jolt, which is a real kick in the nuts. It's a waste, but it's basically what you're stuck with. So instead, we're going to head down here and take a left and down the hall to this little wasp nests. Essentially also infected by the T-virus, perhaps. Grab the residence key that's by the nest, and it will be 003. Man, look at that poor bastard. He's all stunned up in the face. They must have stunned him in his cheeks and everything. Now, come down here, use the 003 key on the door, and then we're going to head on through. A giant plant is crushing the wall. A swarm of angry moths surround it. I'm not sure if this is attributed to Plant 42. I think it might be, but I'm not sure. Get it? So we have a typewriter here on the wall over here. We will have the white book. Go ahead and take it. And the organic chemistry lab experiment. The similarities in the cellular characteristics of rapidly growing plant infected by the tyrant virus have been reported in previous papers. However, while repeating these experiments, an interesting new fact became clear. We learned that a chemical in the Umbra family, Umbra number 20, contains a compound that is toxic to the cells of the plant. We have given UM20 a new name, V-Jolt. If calculations prove correct, when V-Jolt is applied directly to the root of the entire plant should be dead within 5 seconds. The V-Jolt can be made by simply mixing the VP and chemicals in a specific ratio. However, extra care must be taken when handling these chemicals. They have been known to generate toxic gases if mishandled. 3 is red, yellow 6 is yellow, 7 is green, 10 is orange, VP 17 is blue, and V-Jolt is dark brown. So essentially this is the new formula. They've raised it from 16 to 20, and they've added an itinerary of different colors and numbers that essentially are part of making the formula more complex, but, you know, not too bad. Now in here, we will go ahead and pull the plug on dirty water. I don't remember if you get anything in here. I think Jill gets something, but I don't think Chris does. Let me look at... Nope, doesn't look like it. Obviously here we have the root, basically, that's destroyed the wall. Easier difficulties, you get something in these rooms, I think, but not normal and not hard. So with that being said, we're going to need to go back and get our green herbs and our red book to proceed with this second boss fight, which will be Plant 42. Again, step up on the boxes. Once we kill Plant 42, we won't have to deal with this nonsense anymore. It's mostly just for safety measures dealing with Plant 42, and it's a concurrent issue overall. So once entering here, we're going to grab our green herbs that we were going to take with us here and here. And we're also going to take the red book as well. And now we will make our way back and engage Plant 42. My cat is snoring over here on my pillow. So once we head through here, head directly through 003, and then we will head through and use the red book. Now the red book is not going to be a straight short answer. You've got to slide the book in, but you also got to shift it around because you have to fit the pattern of the book's spines. You'll see what I mean in a second. So here you obviously can see that there is a binding of books needs to be formed some kind of pattern. You order the books. So essentially we want to move this book with the other one there. This one there. And then this one there. And that will open the hidden door. Now, as soon as we get in here, we're going to equip our pistol, and we're basically just going to use 3 shots and then 1 extra, just because I like to have an even reload for the handgun. Upon entering, we will be grabbed by Plant 42. There are poison bulbs in here you want to be careful of. The plant itself, there's a bulb there on the stair that will poison you. Keep moving as it starts to sprinkle its bullshit all over the place. Now, essentially, I would not recommend going up here unless you're good about moving around a lot. But otherwise, that is what I would do. Pretty much, this is the first stage of the fight where it'll be open. So just keep moving. And that's why. You get more damage with the bulb being open, so you want to time your movements with the bulb being open. And that will do it. Took us 4 shots from the handgun and 9 shots from the shotgun. Easy done. Now we can go over there by this fireplace. You can see the blitzing of the key that's hidden there. And that will conclude this segment with our exploration of the residence. We now have the armor key in our possession. And that will conclude that work. And then we'll head out the double doors, and we'll be greeted by Rebecca, who, very bizarrely, it'll act scripted like she actually saved our neck.
Oh, you scared me. You okay?
Yeah, it's dead.
Now,
But... Richard... He's... gone.
I'm sorry.
It's my fault. I should have watched out for him.
I found a pharmaceutical room. I think I can come up with something useful. I'll be there. I'm glad you're still okay.
now, there's a number of things to take into account here. If you have not used your healing item, obviously I used one of my healing items. I didn't think about it until after the fact, but you can actually get healed from Rebecca if you go in there and check on that measure. So you can pretty much do that. But we're going to go in there and talk to her anyway. And just be like, just check on her. I mean, the poor fucking girl just lost another one of her teammates. That's 2 for 3. So we're going to, we'll talk to her and we'll see her. Check on her.
This room is equipped with all sorts of medical supplies. Want me to treat your wounds?
No, I'm okay. But if something should happen to me, I'm counting on you. Be strong, Rebecca.
Are you okay? Want me to treat your wounds?
Oh, what am I doing?
Yeah, would you?
Why the hell would I do that? I didn't need to be cured. What an asshole. I didn't think she would. I thought it would. I didn't think it would give me the option to cure myself. What the fuck? I wasn't even hurt. Oh, what a dumbass. So we're gonna head out of here. Let's just get out of here. Oh, that just didn't make sense at all. That just made me look like a noob. So upon entering this hallway, heading around the corner,
Wesker?
there will be Wesker.
Chris, you're alive.
My words exactly. Where's Jill? Thought you were with her.
Yeah, I know. We got separated.
I see. Anyway, we better find a way out of here before we turn into zombie food. Got any suggestions, Wesker?
We should get a better grip on the situation. There must be areas still to be explored in that other mansion. Chris, I want you to check them out one more time. I'll continue my investigation here.
Sure thing.
So we're gonna head back to the mansion now. Obviously, we have the helmet. We can access areas that question that he was referring to. So, but now we can also navigate through here without being grabbed and strangled to death by that fucking plant. Now, a few things we will take with us is going to be prevalent to our next continuing threat. Obviously, we have the oil here, so we're going to go ahead and refill our canteen a little bit. If we need to come back for more, we can always make a detour back here and grab it later. We're not going to do it now, but it will be important for us to do that later when we're burning bodies of other zombies further down the line. But we will reload our shotgun fully. We'll go ahead and mix these herbs real quick. Oh, we can't mix them. We gotta mix them with something else, so I guess we'll put them away until we can use them, because we can't use them individually, and I'm not mixing them. I'm not doing a blue herb with the greens, so but we will drop off our... We're gonna take our self-defense gun, and we're gonna take the armor key, and I think that will be it. We'll go ahead and leave our magazines behind as well for the handgun. And that will be it. So now we can head... Why do you keep doing that? Is this stick... This is stick drift. That's what this is. I'm not even moving it. Look how light I'm touching the controller. Okay, look at this shit. Look at this. I'm not even moving it that much. See, there it is again. Okay, watch. What is this? Look at that. I'm not even touching it. It's like, I've really got to get the other controller out. The stick drift is now starting to affect my right analog stick. What the fuck? I hate stick drift. This is the kind of shit that drives me fucking bananas. I would go berserk if it cost me a game. If I was playing like something, I don't play sports games, but if I was playing something like NBA 2K3 or 2K4 and I fucked up because I hit the stick and it fucked me up and it ruined my shot, I would be fucking illiterately furious. So heading back to this cavernous little path, we get another cutscene with a radio call from
Crystal
Brad.
Brad, can you hear me? Brad! Damn!
And then we're going to continue our path back to the courtyard. Now out here we will have a number of dogs in our way. We're not going to really worry about them. We're going to run though. Sorry, Pooch. I ain't got time to play with you. I got some place to be. Now here we will run back through, and snakes will drop from the trees. Mind the left side though a little bit, because we're gonna have two snakes that are gonna be curled up like copperheads. You'll see one slightly to the right and one slightly to the left. If you don't see them, they're gonna bite you because you gotta run right into them. So just run through that path, and then you should be okay. Hopefully there's no dogs here. We killed the dogs, so that should take care of them. Further down this path down here, though, is obviously the elevator that's going to lead us to the lower level when we try to get to the cave system underneath the mansion's grounds. So we're going to head back through this main door here, and then Wesker will leave us even more resources in this little halfway point for the mansion. So as soon as you enter this room, you'll see on the wall another note, but grab the first aid spray first. Grab the shotgun shells next, and then the stun grenade as well. Use this to protect yourself from that monster in chains that can't be hurt by guns. I also fixed the broken doorknob to make sure you can get away. Wesker. So the door that was initially broken on the first floor's East Hall area that, it looks like it's getting ready to fall apart. We can't go through this way. He has essentially fixed it for us. So now we can no longer have to navigate through the first floor's East Wing or have to regulate ourselves to going out into the fucking outside area where the Arrowhead tomb is. So, he is a traitor. We know this. If you follow the OG lore and the remake lore, it's pretty much hand in hand. But we know he's a traitor. But I gotta give props to him for doing us a solid there. So we're definitely gonna head back the way we came. Have your self-defense gun and ready. This is essentially just a straightforward self-defense gun. It has a 22 Magnum rounds in it. So that's essentially what's gonna put this hunter on its ass, hopefully. So once we get through this door, we'll be greeted with a cutscene of the hunter pursuing us. Jumping up the broken elevator, running through the courtyard, through that room, down the hall behind us, and then through that door. And that will take care of the hunter. Now, at this point, you want to have your shotgun equipped because we don't have our Magnum yet. We're going to need it, though. So get ready to use it. Go ahead and push the grenade in the hunter's mouth, and then we're gonna run past him if we can. The grenade will detonate and kill the hunter. Oh, that hurt. If we don't get clear of him in time, the blast will effectively hurt us, which it did. But we didn't take terribly a lot of damage, so very handy to have that for hunters. But they're still dangerous with their claws, so that's essentially why I was running away. So once we get here, we're going to drop off our self-defense gun and the shotgun shells and the first aid spray. And then we're going to put our handgun away and get our Magnum out. And we're going to save our game. Just in case the shit hits the fan. So with that being in our possession, now we're going to go about grabbing. We'll grab our magnum shells, because a magnum is essentially the best weapon you're gonna hope to have to protect yourself from hunters. And yeah, we're gonna do a little hunting for hunters. Let's take a look at our map real quick. So obviously we have that one room there that we bypassed after we engaged our first hunter. That room is a helmet key room, but essentially I don't want to do that just yet. Instead, what I want to do is go upstairs and gain access to the second floor area to open up this room over here. And then we're going to make our way back through and open up another room on the west wing, not the east wing. So we're gonna go down here real quick. Well, actually, no. Let's not do that. I'm gonna change my strategy a little bit. I'm gonna go use up some of these magnum shells by taking care of some of these hunters. So we should still have a zombie in this hallway, which we do, which is good. No hunters. If you have killed all the zombies, they will be replaced by hunters. In this game, though, that was the OG version. The OG version essentially put hunters in every room, regardless if you spared the zombies or not. Zombies would be taken out and the hunters would be put in. But in the remake, if you do not kill certain zombies in areas and you would allow them to live, hunters will not be present. So in that particular instance, that zombies being alive has deprived the game of putting 2 hunters in its place. So it's important not to kill all the zombies, because in the long term, you're doing yourself a favor by avoiding hunters being a threat later. Now, the hunters in this upper hallway here should not be here as well. Specifically because the zombie will be here as well. Oh, we did kill the. It looks like this zombie did get killed. I guess Rebecca did kill him. Kill that hunter. Now we are a little bit hurt, so that's okay. We're gonna get some healing items. So we're gonna go about moving our way across the balcony here. A normal difficulty, hunters don't typically die to a single shot from the Magnum, but if you have your shotgun as a secondary, you can finish them off with a single shot from the assault shotgun. We will go outside, though, and heal ourselves with the green herb plant box that's out here. I think there will be a hunter in front of us, though. If there is, just take him down. Right there. Yeah, the other hunter will come charging, but by the time he gets to that halfway marker, we'll be well and truly out of the way. There's 2 hunters out there. That one we dropped in front of the planter. The other one will be at the central square of the balcony, where we have that little sort of foyer there. Heading around the corner here, use the helmet key to unlock this door. And inside we will find a few things of importance. So here we have on the table the mail to the Chief of Security. Attention, Chief of Security, July 22nd, 98 to 13 hours. X-Day is drawing upon us. Execute the following procedures within 1 week. Prompt actions are demanded. 1. Lure the stars to the estate and obtain BOW's raw combat data against stars. Collect 2 embryos of each mutated specimen as samples, excluding the tyrant. Dispose of the tyrant. 3. Ensure complete disposal of the Arklay laboratory, including all personnel and test animals. Disguise their deaths as an accident. When the above procedures are executed, report to headquarters for further instructions. If for some reason you are unable to execute the procedure by the deadline, report immediately. In case of emergency situations, report directly to the extension number 5691. Good luck, Umbrella HQ, Umbrella Inc. So, now here, this puzzle is a bit intricate and unique. The new change is going to be this bison head that essentially is going to be not attainable with these eagle statues guarding this window, this little item here. So we're going to need a few things here. First thing we're going to grab is a dagger on the wall, grab the shotgun shells there. We're going to need to make a trip back here because we have a full inventory. So, but essentially what we're going to want to do is there's 2 jewels in here. There's no longer 1 jewel, there's 2 jewels. There's a yellow jewel, and there's a red jewel. So we're going to grab them later when we come back. But we're going to deal with some hunters down here first. They're going to jump through the window, so be ready for them. First one will be here. Not yet, it seems. They don't. You'll have 2 hunters jump through the glass there, so just be ready for them when they do appear. Okay. Yeah, we're going to drop off our shotgun shells, and then we will make our way up and go get those jewels. There's 2 jewels, but only one of them will be relevant for the tiger statue. The other one is specifically for a different gemstone altogether. So we're going to head up here and gain access to that room. Now the big thing we're going to do is we're going to push these little chests accordingly in the right spot because we're going to need to move quickly with this piece of work to happen. I think these eagles are thermal cameras, essentially tracking our movement because we're thermal. We got body heat. But this is essentially what we're going to do. Basically, we turn off the light. We've pushed those things into the right position. If they face your direction, if you notice, the gemstone will actually be disabled and you won't be able to collect it. So what you need to do is get underneath them in terms of that, and then grab the gemstones before the cameras can turn, which we missed it. Alright, so we can't grab that one yet. We're going to head over here and grab this one, though. Grab the red jewel. And then we will do the same with the yellow jewel. And that's exactly what we need. So once we get down the stairs, we're going to head around the corner, and I believe we'll be ambushed by the hunters bursting through the windows. Now that we solved that treasure. There we go. That's 1 shot, 1 dead. Another one. That's 2. Now we'll head through, and we'll engage the other hunters that will be in this hallway as well. No? No hunter? Wow. Okay. So that negates that threat. We know that that's the case there, so we'll head in here and use this gem on the puzzle. So read the inscription first, though. If you put the wrong gem in, I want to stress this, if you put the wrong damn gem in, it'll drop poisonous snakes from the ceiling and you'll get bit. So you essentially want to put the right gem in. Don't put the wrong one in. So here's the inscription. It says here, a tiger has blow with a blue eye and a yellow light. So do not use the red gem. If you use the red gem, you'll get poisoned. So use the yellow one, and that will in turn get the gem to open the other passage of this puzzle area, which we will find a system disc. I wonder what that's for. Hint, hint. Different look to it, though. I don't remember it looking like that. I thought it was a lot less shiny. So, after we've done that, we're going to head back to the storage room, drop off the system disc, and we're going to grab our hand... no, not our handgun. We'll keep our shotgun. We'll just use our shotgun. So drop off the system disc. And, yeah, take the shotgun with you. We need the red gem for something, so, you know what? Go ahead and drop off your magnum ammos, because I think we're gonna have something else we're gonna need to grab while we're in here too. So we can't use the helmet key for that. I remember now. We can't use the helmet key for that room because that's actually a special key we need to find. So that's essentially what we're going to get. It's the emblem key we need to find. So we're gonna grab the emblem key next. So we're gonna need the red jewel to get that emblem key. So we're going to head out here into Kenneth's hallway. Then we're going to head into the dining room, and then through the dining room, head to the main hall. You know what else I find curious? Is when you get here, the candles are all lit, the fireplace is burning, all these have the staples like it was occupied very recently, but the rest of the mansion is so dirty and dusty, and it looks disheveled. It looks like nobody's been in this mansion for years, but somehow or another, they've got candelabras. I don't understand the concept. I mean, you would think that candles would run out of wax, but for whatever reason, everything seems to be self-sustaining, I guess. I wouldn't say that, but you know, you get my meaning, right? It's very curious. So entering here with the helmet key, unlocking the door, we'll have this laboratory kind of like area. I'm not sure if this is what you call this a lab, but you got things in formaldehyde and shit. So there's something handwritten. It's not dated. Nothing's changed. I never thought that this room I designed as an experiment would pay off like this. I can hide here safely for a while because nobody knows about the secret behind this painting, not even Sir Spencer. Painting of a mansion in the back of the art room. This is essentially the closet where the closet outfits are located. The hidden closet room is essentially where you would use the closet key. Once you beat the game, you get the closet key and you can change your outfits, much like how we did in the OG version. And this is a part of. This is also another addition to George Trevor's diary. So over here, there is nothing here, but you see a globe. You see a lot of like other, decorative materials that essentially are inside the shelf. You'll find some ink ribbons. You can take them if you want. We're going to leave them behind right now, just for now. Instead, what we're going to do is head back here, and we will probably encounter a zombie in this room. We're just going to drop him with our magnum. I'm not really worried about it. It frees up a space too, because we can reload. And I'm pretty sure he's dead. Goddamn thing changing all the time. Grab the chest here, and then we will use that. The jewelry box essentially is what we want. We're not going to worry about burning the body with this zombie because we're not be coming back here again. So essentially what we're going to want here is the item in question is right here. So we're going to combine the red gem with this jewelry box, and it will drop all these pieces out like puzzles. And then what we need to do is basically assemble the pieces to form the Spencer family crest. So this will be the first part. This will be, I believe, the next part. You don't have to get these flush in order. You just have to get the right pattern in place. So that will be that part there. And this will be the next part here, followed by this part here. And that will complete the emblem, and inside we will find a brooch. The brooch, examine it, it turns into a key. The emblem key is essentially what we want to open that one last little area. Now, over here, we will grab the green herb. We will grab the dagger on the floor. I'm definitely going to equip the dagger before the grenades, because if a hunter jumps on me, I don't want to have to... if I can stab him in the eye with the dagger, he'll go crazy. He'll be blind, but he'll go crazy, and then essentially I'll be able to take him down without risking serious injury from the grenade. I want to save the grenades for the zombies, effectively. So once we grab all those items, we're going to head over here, back to this drawer, grab the ink ribbons inside, and then take them. Then heading out here. I don't remember if there's a typewriter out here or not. I think there is. But let's find out. Nope, no typewriter. So they moved the typewriter to the dining room, effectively from the main hall. So now, given the present circumstance, we're going to head back to the east wing. We'll try my luck and see if I can go out here and cut through here. Saves me a trip having to go through the second floor. I don't think there is any hunters out here. I don't hear any growling or purring or trilling. So we're going to head through the painting room. Ugh. And we're going to use the emblem key to open up that door. Before we do that, though, we're going to need to drop off some stuff because we're going to have to save Rebecca from a hunter. So as soon as we get in here, drop off your ink ribbons, get the green herb, mix it with the red and blue herbs we got earlier from the residents. And then we're going to also drop off the, just put the emblem key in there for right now. Mix these, get them sorted. And let's go ahead and reload our Magnum. And then we will take ourselves back out into the main hall that was essentially broken before. Thanks to Wesker, it's fixed. So now we can go back out into that hallway. Now we can head through. The doorknob has been repaired. Now, upon using the emblem key, and entering the room, we'll be greeted with a cutscene of Rebecca's screaming. We're gonna immediately drop what we're doing, and we're gonna rush upstairs to that botany room and save her.
Rebecca, is she upstairs?
If you don't get there in time, the hunter will kill Rebecca. So if you want the best ending, you need to get to her, and you need to get to her fast. I don't know exactly the time limit on that. I've been told varying accounts anywhere from 1 minute to less than 30 seconds, but, just drop what you're doing and rush upstairs. So immediately rush into here, up the stairs. Now we can't go through that door there, obviously, because that is broken. That doorknob is broken, and we're going to fix that, so we need to go the long way around. So upon entry here, we're going to immediately rush into here, dodge the zombie, head right in. The hunter will immediately break off engaging of Rebecca, who will cower in the corner and attempt to attack you. Get away from here, son of a bitch.
Rebecca.
Chris!
You okay?
I didn't mean to get you worried.
We can't stay here any longer. We have to get to the others and find a way out of here. You with me?
Yes.
Then I'll go ahead. Until then, Rebecca, you're on your own. Stay cool and use your better judgment. Got it?
I can handle myself.
Good luck.
You sure as shit better be able to. You already fought these fuckers in Resident Evil 0. Another detail that is negated to the details of the story, so. But head on out, and she will be fine now. You don't have to worry about her. You actually won't see her for the predominant moment of the rest of this game, with the exception of when you get to finally get to the lab. So we're going to head right back downstairs again, and we're going to get back to what we were originally doing by searching that emblem room now that we unlocked it with the emblem key. So let's get back to that. So upon entering the room, obviously the room will be dark. We need to turn the switch on, another staple from the original OG version. And then immediately on our left, we will have a metal stone, a metal object, which is part of the key that we will need. Over here, another stun grenade, which we will need. In the drawer, should be some shotgun shells. So there we go. And then inside, I think will be a note somewhere. An old-fashioned telephone recorder, nothing there. I don't think we will find a file in here in question that we're looking for. I'm always thinking there's something ahead of us that we're missing. But doesn't look like there's anything here. But that stone and metal object, that is important. That will get us to another area that we need. So we're going to go ahead and head out now. We got 2 more areas to explore. And actually, one of them is going to be another boss fight. We're going to kill the snake, the yawn. So that's essentially where our next destination is going to take us. So what are we going to need? Well, we're going to need some healing items. And we're going to definitely unlock that other door with the helmet key before we do that. That way we can get this helmet key out of our inventory. So we're going to need to drop off the stone metal object. We're going to go ahead and grab the shotgun shells. We got shitloads of shotgun shells now. We're going to save our magnum. I mean, you could take your magnum. Fuck it. Why not? You might as well take your magnum. You pretty much are going to be swimming in munitions anyway. But as you can see, we're doing pretty good with overall with health in general. So, but yeah, we're gonna have a little fun with this. I don't even think we'll really use much of our shotgun at this point. With this, if we're gonna use our magnum, we're just gonna like immediately set up shop to drop this snake pretty easy. So we're gonna head up the stairs now, and then we're gonna go unlock this far door down here with the helmet key, because there's only 2 doors left where we need to use the helmet key. This is essentially where we'll come to last. Our main course is basically to take down the snake. So essentially that's what our goal is. But over here will be the key. This room will be the next scope of our project going forward after we've taken down the snake first. Oh, controller's gonna die. Gotta charge my controller. So, we will head into the next area in question. So, to do that, we're gonna need to head out through the art room door. We're gonna make our way around, essentially. So head down the hall and through into the painting room, painting puzzle room. And then after we make our way out, we're gonna run around, head out through the outside gate door. For me, this just feels shorter. I mean, and largely because the other areas you have to navigate a lot of hallways. It's just really a zip and it's like a jump and a skip, and you can really get right back to the main hall pretty fast. So I don't know, time wise, you're probably shaving off maybe a couple seconds. If you're doing a speed run, this is the best route that I would recommend, in my opinion. Once we get here, though, we're gonna head to the lower level, and we're gonna head to the first floor dining room. Basically, we're going to navigate our way to the next area, the yawn. The second boss fight with the snake will be not in that room where we unlock the key. They've actually changed that. That is no longer the place where you fight the snake. The snake will be at the far back of the room where we get the armor key. If you recall correctly, when we first started the game, we had that trap where we had to get the replica of a key to get the armor key. There was a door further in the back. In fact, I'll show you on the map here. If you follow this path here, going down and around, and then up the stairs, you'll see that is basically leads us to the armor room. Now, there is the armor, where we get the armor key right there, but there's that red door that essentially will take us to the third floor of the mansion. So essentially, the mansion has 3 floors, not including the attic, but that is essentially our destination. So run past Kenneth's body, and then we're going to head through here into the next area. Now here, obviously, we will have crows now, but they will not be a threat, so don't freak out. The zombie that was once on the ground will be gone, probably wandering around, this son of a bitch, with the crows having flown in through the window and perched themselves on the curtain rod to the right here. So just walk, don't run, just walk. Head on through, and then we're going to go straight forward. We're not going to go right, we're just going to go straight through the door leading to the armor key. Obviously, the zombie here will still be active. No, it's another. If there was no zombies, there probably would have been hunters. So head up the stairs now, past the armor key trap, left and right, and then here we'll use the helmet key, discard it, and this is where we will fight the snake. Now, upon stepping forward, you'll hear the snake slithering around outside. You get the green herbs here. Go ahead and grab both of them. Mix them, if you wish to. In fact, I recommend it. In the event that we do get our hands full with this fight, which I don't think we will. I don't think we'll even use it. Now, as soon as you get further down the hall, the snake will crash through the window, and he will start slithering his position towards you. Now, 2 things will prevent you from leaving. Obviously, the snake, for one. And then the second thing, essentially, will be that the path is blocked by the snake. So, essentially, you are forced to retreat to avoid getting damaged and to essentially find a safer zone to where we could fight the snake. This essentially will take you to a lower-leveled ballroom/library. The snake will pretty much encircle the room behind a bookcase. So you want him chasing you. You have much like how we had the attic, we had a pretty much open ground area where we can make him follow us. Is essentially the aims. So we want to keep him trapped. So he's going to burst through this glass here, and that will basically force you to retreat. And that will basically put us in the path of this bookcase here. You do not have to worry about him poisoning you, but his bite will be pretty damaging all the same. Keep him chasing you. You shouldn't be much left in him left. You just unloaded 5 shells into him from the Magnum, including the shotgun's couple shots. And that'll be it. Now, by him hitting that bookcase, it'll actually knock a key item, which is partially why we want to take down the snake. This was not something you could avoid. You have to kill the snake in order to get this item. Pulling up your map, you'll also see that this door essentially here is actually leading you onto the second floor here. However, this door is smashed. You will not be able to use this door. The knob is broken, and it doesn't look like it'll open. So essentially, this is just the second floor that we're on. It's an area you could have accessed earlier. Another part of the map, actually, ironically, this was technically the records room, if you remember correctly from the OG version. Essentially, the blue double doors would have led into this room, but they've repurposed it and reconfigured it as such. So, they've reconfigured a lot of the old rooms from the OG version to the remake. So you'll find a lot of differences, similarities, but overall differences in scale and scope. So now that we've dispatched the snake, now we can make our way out and back the way we came. There's the broken window where he came through, and we're just going to head right out the way we came. Now, the blue book, if you notice that is essentially one of the key books to access the courtyard's fountain, elevator, and gain access to the lab. That is essentially unavoidable, as we need that to complete the game. So we have the wolf medal hidden inside, which we'll take. You know, I really would like to get the medals. I'm going to look online in the future when I have money, and I'm going to start looking at merchandise for, like, the keys. Like, I know that's a big staple. People like to collect a lot of those signifying, like, replica keys of, like, stars, the police department stars, the police department's keys, like the card keys, and then, of course, obviously the mansion's keys also as well. So once you get through here, we're going to head back into this area here. And we're going to head back to the second floor east wing from the second floor west wing. We essentially have used up our Magnum, so we're going to be using our shotgun for a little while. We'll probably switch to our handgun, because where we're going, we're going to have a couple zombies in our way we're going to need to take care of. So make your way through the second floor dining room's balcony, through the main hall. Avoid the zombie here. We don't need to worry about him. But I think before we even think about going forward, we're going to take a break and we're going to stop the stream right here, because essentially I want to keep it like at an equilateral of 2 hours and 20 minutes. I probably will play for the long haul of like 4 to 5 hours with the advanced difficulty of Real Survivor, but I want to keep it even streamlined with Chris, and I want to keep it to a level where it's going to be not too long, not too extreme, but just enough in the mediums that it will be beneficial in the long run. So I definitely want to do that. So we're going to take out our weapon here. We're going to take out the handgun. We're going to grab the handgun. and we're going to grab the shotgun, which we're going to reload that. That's actually a nice little trick there. You can reload it manually by swapping out the pieces in those regards. So, but yeah, that is pretty much where we're going to put the brakes on this stream for now. We got shitloads of healing items. And we're going to go ahead and save our game. And we're going to stop there. So, that is pretty much going to conclude that piece of work there for us. So, very happy with it. I would do a little bit more, but I want to have some breakfast. I want to have some coffee, fresh coffee. And then I have a phone call coming. I'm not sure if it's 10:30 or it's 11:30, but I want to keep myself open and available, and it is now 9:48. So get some coffee, some breakfast, shake a leg, and then see about what else I can do. I probably will stream again a little bit later because of the fact that it is pretty much a Thursday and I don't have to go anywhere as of yet. So, but that's all I got for you, though. We got a lot done. We went through the residence. We solved the issues with the helmet key. We got that. We took down Neptune. We took down Plant 42. We're engaging hunters, and we just took down the Yawn, the giant snake, at the mansion. So we got a good start. The next time we come back, we'll finish up the remaining exploration of the other rooms that were beyond our reach with the help of the helmet key. We've used up the helmet key, so the helmet key is no longer a factor. We just have to go through the rooms and get what we need. And essentially what we need now is to get the elevator working outside the courtyard, enabling us to gain access to the underground cave system. And with that, we can enter the final stretch of finishing Chris's normal playthrough. After we finish Chris's normal playthrough, we're going to see about doing Jill on a normal playthrough. And that will be a lot more productive and a lot more beneficial. Jill is a lot easier than Chris, which is a definite benefit to us in the long run. So essentially, that is what we're going to shoot for. We'll see how far we get. Maybe we'll even get to that tonight. Who knows? I mean, that's hard to say, but we'll see. I don't think we have much to go on much further with Chris, but the fact is that's where we're at. So that's all I got for you guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. Comment, subscribe, turn the notification bell on if you definitely want to keep up to date with any future live stream playthroughs when I do live stream. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, leave them in the comment section. I will do my best to answer them. And like this video, so as it really helps me out trying to get more generation and more active with my live stream platform. So I am Savage Squishy 86, and this is our continuing live stream playthrough of the Resident Evil Remake with Chris Redfield. I will see you next time.